gozaimasu. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today for our Sunday service. On June 14, in about 2 weeks, the Konkokyo Independence Ceremony is going to be held at the Konkokyo Headquarters in Okayama, Japan. And it's one of the more important annual observances in our faith. Gotaisai is included, of course, and commemorating the independence of the Konkokyo organization from like the Shinto sect and Konko, the Konko faith throughout the world. So it was through this independence that Konkokyo became its own faith. So because before Konkokyo had to be under Shinto rules, otherwise the founder could not propagate the faith, and he was actually banned from doing so unless he says, "Oh yeah, this is the Shinto sect." But the independence is when Konkokyo was able to separate from Shintoism. We are still under the sectarian Shintoism, from one of the branches, the 13 branches, I think, of sectarian Shintoism, but still, we are our own independent faith. So this year, my mom, she received a notification from the headquarters through my email, and it said to please print it out and show my mom, that informing her that she will be recognized for her 40 years of ordainment as a Konkokyo minister. Yay! So my mom, she already knew that it was already her 40th year this year, and she knew that there was going to be a recognition ceremony on June 14. However, because our family, we just have gone to Japan. We went to the headquarters on February 2nd, I think we went to the headquarters. She did not think it was appropriate to travel to Japan again so soon. So she wasn't, so as far as she was concerned, she had no intention of going. Then something really interesting happened. I know my parents told you that I saw a dream. It wasn't a dream that I saw. I was fully awake. It was one morning, I was fully awake, and I had a clear message just come to my heart. I don't know where this message came from. It just came right here. It wasn't a dream. I wasn't half asleep. I was completely awake, and this before I was going to eat breakfast. And then I heard the words, "Okaasan ni Nihon ni kasete agenasai," meaning, let your mom go to Japan. And you are the only one that can financially provide for this. Pay for your mom's trip. I was like, hi. Because the message was so clear to me. It was a man's voice, so I'm thinking maybe he was the founder. And because it was so clear, I could not ignore it. I could not be like, no, it's just my imagination. No, I'm going to ignore that, no. So I immediately called my mom, and I said, "Okasan, do you want to go to Japan for the 40th recognition ceremony at home?" And she was like, no, it's okay. We went in February. I said, but I had this message come to my heart just now, so I think that's a message from Kami-sama. And she said, I don't feel right going again. And I was like, she's like, you know what, I'll just ask Sensei to see what he'll say. I was like, you know what he's gonna say already. He's gonna say, "Ikin! Ikin is go!" And but my mom, she did not feel very deserving of any recognition. But that answer did not surprise me, because that's the way she is. Many ministers who have dedicated their lives to service often do not think of recognition. They simply want to do what needs to be done. I've never heard my parents ever say, "You know what? I deserve this. I'm gonna go to Japan. I deserve it. Hey, I deserve it. I'm gonna treat myself to something wonderful. I'm gonna treat myself to a trip. I'm gonna treat myself to a whole a month of vacation because I deserve it, because I worked hard." They don't have that kind of mentality, and a lot of Konko ministers, they don't have that kind of mentality of like, "Oh, I deserve it." Instead, they have this more like, "I was able to do this. I was able to serve Kami-sama in good health because of the blessings I received from Kami-sama." So, not that. So for people who could afford it, it's not like I deserve it, so I'm going to go to Japan for this recognition ceremony. It's more like in appreciation of Kami-sama's blessings for allowing me to serve this far. I shall go to Gohonbu to give my appreciation. So that's the kind of mentality. So Okasan, she said, okay, Chahor, I'm gonna ask Otosan if he that can go. And of course, Yano Sensei says, Iki! and so I immediately purchased the tickets online and made the accommodations, and the timing was so amazing because the very next day, that airfare increased to $500 more. I was like, wow! And it never got cheaper. It never got cheaper. So I truly thought it was a great okage and it was a divine arrangement. So Kami-sama prepared everything. My mom will only be in Japan for like 4 days before returning home, but I feel very grateful that she will be able to attend in person, and that's the plan. As I reflected on this experience, I began thinking about my parents and the many years of dedicated service to Kami-sama and the people, our family, and to our Wahira Church community. My dad's 40th year recognition, it just came and went many years ago, and for various reasons, mainly financial reasons, he wasn't able to go. This time, I wanted to make sure that my mom had the opportunity. Both my parents have spent decades nurturing not only our family but this church, and most of what they have done has not been visible. So in Konkokyo, we often speak about the importance of the roots. And so when we look at trees, what do we notice? We notice the nice canopy, the branches, the leaves, the flowers, the fruits, but we rarely notice the roots. It's like, yet the roots, nothing else could survive without the roots. They're very, very important. The roots quietly absorb water and nutrition, and it quietly supports the entire tree up above. Nobody applauds the roots. Nobody takes selfies with the roots, right? Yet the roots make everything possible. So in many ways, my parents have spent their lives doing the works of the root, I believe. They prayed quietly every day. They prayed for the happiness of believers, the ministers, our family. They prayed for people who never even knew they were being prayed for. And they worked tirelessly for the continuation of this church. And today, the Konko Mission Wahia continues to serve the community after 86 years. Many people see the church building, the services, and ministers, but they do not see the countless prayers and sacrifices and maybe concerns and the efforts that have sustained this church over the decades. But Kami-sama sees them. And to them, that's enough. So faith is not about showing off to others, like, hey, I served 40 years, man, I deserve this kind of thing. It's not about that. The faith is not for showing off. The world often teaches us to seek recognition, like even on like Facebook, Instagram, people want recognition, people want better stuff. The world teaches us to seek praise. The world teaches us to seek validation. But faith teaches us something different. Faith teaches us to do good because it's the right thing to do. Faith teaches us to serve because Kami has entrusted us with that opportunity. And faith teaches us that even when nobody notices, Kami-sama is watching and Kami-sama will notice you. Sometimes believers, they may get discouraged. They might think, I've been praying for years, but where are the blessings? I've been helping for years. Why aren't my prayers answered? I've been serving for years, but it's so tiring. Oh, Goyo is so boring, it's so repetitive. And no one notices me. But Kami notices you. Every act of sincerity is recorded in Kami-sama's heart. It's like an investment. It's a spiritual investment. Everything you do, every goyo that you do, every time you come to service, you're putting in these coins. You're depositing your virtue into the universe. Every act of kindness matters, even when no one knows. I often think about the founder Konko Daiji. During his lifetime, he spent day after day listening to people from morning till night, year after year. He did not become like an ultra rich person. He didn't establish like a mega church. He did not become famous by worldly standards. He had a really small, humble farmer's house church. So if you ever have a chance to go to the headquarters, you will see the replica of the original Hiromai, and it's smaller than what we have here. Really small. And there's like a little okekai at the little corner over there. And he was so humble. He continued because he wanted people to receive blessings. He even said that we must not let go of our desires. You know, but other faiths, they may say, throw away all desires. You have to make yourself blank. Repel all desires. But the founder says, no, we must have desires. Farmers have the desire to have a good crop. Merchants have the desire to, make a profit out of their sales. And we all have to have desires or we can't survive. But for the founder, he said, my desire is to save people. The founder's recognition or reward was not public recognition. His reward was not seeing, his reward was seeing people helped and healed. His reward was seeing lives being transformed. His reward was knowing that he was serving Kami-sama. And likewise, many ministers throughout the history of Konkokyo have quietly dedicated their lives to serving others. Many of them never became famous, never received any kind of rewards. They don't have books about them. Yet because of their sincerity, their faith continued, people continued to be saved, the blessings continued, the teachings continued, and the church continued. The same can be said about my parents, and as children, we often do not understand the sacrifices they make for us until we become adults or until we lose them some way. When we are young, we simply assume the food is going to be on the table. We assume that, hey, dinner is going to be ready at 6 o'clock. We assume that our dirty clothes are going to be washed until we become the responsible adults who have to prepare the food on the table, who have to pay the electric bills, who have to wash the dirty clothes. And you'll only then understand the workings of what our parents did. My parents spent years not only raising us, but also caring for the church family, and it's not easy. There were no vacations. My parents never took a vacation. Didn't even know what a vacation was. And so because we've never been on a vacation. And, for like elementary school, when we come back from the summertime, and the teacher would ask us, oh, write down what you did over the summer. What did you do if you went on a vacation? And I was like, what's a vacation? Because we've never been on a vacation. People, we didn't understand the concept, again, of the vacation. People call when they're grieving. People call when they're sick, when they're worried, need guidance, or struggling. And the ministers answered because that's what they do. And for 40 years, my mom has done that. So my mom, they came to Hawaii back in 1977. So wondering, well, shouldn't my mom be more than 40 years? And the thing is, when she was in Gakuin, right before she came to Hawaii, she had to stop the Gakuin curriculum partway just to come to Hawaii because her visa got accepted to come. And so that move had to be like swift. So even though she was in Gakuin, she didn't graduate at that time. So for 10 years, she did goyo alongside Yama Sensei. And I think after 10 years, after 8 years, they decided that, Reiko Sensei helped out at the church enough so that even if she didn't complete Gakuin seminary, she could be still ordained as a minister. And since that, it's been 40 years. So really, she's been doing goyo for more than 40 years. Actually, 49 years. Next year is going to be 50 years goyo in Hawaii. Because you guys came in 1977. So when I think about those years, I feel truly a lot of gratitude for my parents. Because they came at the age of 26. You see 26-year-old people nowadays, they're like kids. So I'm wondering how, dang, they were very young and naive and they didn't know a lot. But over the years, they gained experience and they truly become the amazing ministers and respectable parents. I'm just so appreciative of them. I feel grateful that Kami gave me the opportunity to support my mom this time for her 40th recognition ceremony. And I asked my dad, so isn't there like a 50th year recognition ceremony? And he's like, no. And he said, because by that time, a lot of the senses are already dead. I was like, oh man. Not many people are still alive at that time of ordination. And it was a good laugh. But, there's wisdom hidden in that joke. Because, we all know that life is precious and time passes quickly. And before we know it, 40 years will become 50 years. Before we know it, children become adults, So I knew your kids were, since they were like still in your tummy, and now they're like full-grown adults. It's amazing. And before we know it, opportunities come and go. That is why it's important to express gratitude while we still can. And don't wait till it's too late. Don't wait until somebody is gone. Express your appreciation now. Tell your parents thank you. Tell your children thank you. Tell your spouse thank you. Tell your friends thank you. And thank your church members. Thank those who quietly support you. And above that, thank Kami-sama and our Mitama spirits that continue to watch over us. Because when we truly reflect upon our lives, we realize that countless people and countless blessings have supported us along the way. And as we conclude today, I would like to offer my heartfelt congratulations again to my mother for her 40 years or as an ordained Konko minister. I would also like to express my gratitude to my father for his 52 years as a minister. And they both make 49 years since arriving again in Wahiawa. Next year will be the 50th anniversary since they arrived in Hawaii. And their 50th wedding anniversary too. Yeah, so their work has often been quiet. Their efforts have gone unnoticed. But Kami-sama is the greatest witness. And I believe that Kami-sama rewards the sincere service in ways that are often quiet, gentle, but very comforting, I think. And may we all strive to become like those roots beneath the tree that quietly support others, quietly serving Kami, and quietly helping the faith continue for the future generations. And may we never forget that even when nobody else sees our efforts, Kami-sama sees everything and acknowledges. In some way, somehow, that reward is going to come to you. Arigatou.
Thank you, Edna. Yesterday, we went to Memorial, and cleaned up the site and took care of the big countries. At the same time, about 180,
200.
日本陸上自衛の海上自衛隊、maritime defense people came to the site and made an offering of risk. The commander is the women, Commander Azuma, she is one of the only first command, women command. When we look at her, she has very little, or maybe she deserves to be the head of the ship. And all the officer to be is also about around 20 people. Maybe they deserve, they conquered so many hardships. That could be a military war, I should say. As Edna mentioned, deserve. 当たり前でしょ。But when I was among church, the first year, the former wife of Wasensei, Miyazaki, was sick because of the deteriorating body, immune system. So at one time, his wife tried to say, どうしてこうなる? But wasn't it? Stop saying. Don't say that. He used to say, これほど信心するのにどうしてと思えばもう信心ではない。So when we think, I do so much for the devotion and devoted for the Konko Headquarters, how come we had so much difficult encounters? Yesterday we had a minister international meeting on Zoom, Brazil, San Francisco, and Gohonbu, and international centers, and local ministers. At the time I mentioned, Konko-sama, I wonder if Konko-sama did give us the teaching, very difficult teaching. 信頼と人間と達者が three generations. 信頼 means financial resource, financial stability. 人間 means personality, human trait, and good health. If you practice this for 3 generations, that family life could be accepted by Kami-sama and enjoy good financial status, human trait, and good health. But I wonder how many people of the Konko face can enjoy this state. I wonder if Konko-sama extended teachings, I'm not sure, but very difficult teaching. So, what I said, the former wife, どうして want to save her, but is do not save her. So we just try to say thank you for what we have, what we can do to this day. This is a very foundation. And then, if something is lacking, we pray to fulfill that portion of the mission. And thank you very much. ありがとうございます。
今後大神金金の神に願いおかげは我が心にあり本日で頼み Sincerely with all your heart, be one with Kami. Kami's presence in unity, heart grateful and caring, and coming to joy. If the one always now and forever, and is very correct.
い
Number page.
Page 141, number 39.
39。島村八太郎。39。
41. Those practicing faith should visit a family who practices faith. If they visit a family that doesn't practice faith, their faith will be lost.
42. To sleep in a house with the doors locked or without faith is the same as sleeping in an open field.
Paying taxes, people think all the money is for the village office. But this is not the same.